The Bad Boys podcast is brought to you by Iconic Motor Haus, the guys making your motoring fantasies a reality. Visit iconicmotorhouse.com. Today on the show, we speak with the Iconic Motor Haus boys about the latest custom car giveaway.
The Tik Tok Killer gets his just rewards.
And we discover the truth behind the COVID scare campaign.
All that and more on the Bad Boys podcast. If you want the hard-hitting journalism of Four Corners, the reliable current affairs of, well, a current affair, and the planning that goes into classy shows like The Project, then you've tuned into the wrong podcast. It's comedy, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and news stories that makes Fox News sound like an episode of The Muppets. Or maybe it's the other way around. Conversations no one wants to have, but everyone wants to hear. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome to the Bad Boys Podcast for another week. Pretty exciting show today. We've got the boys from Iconic Motor Haus joining us a little bit later on in the show, and just in time for their draw for their very first draw, actually.
Yeah, that big, beautiful black R8 Club Sport beast of a machine. Can't wait to see where that goes.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive, massive draw. Very first one. We're going to chat with the boys about that. But before that, Andrew's just sat down in his chair, and I've got to say, sporting a rather scary-looking hairdo there.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look, I tell you what, I've been in the surf a lot and stuff, and let's just say I haven't washed my hair lately, and it's all over the shop. It is absolutely crazy. Like that guy from Game of Thrones, you know, Tormund, the red-headed
guy.
wildling guy, who became, you know, Jon Snow's friend and all the rest of it. He's got an impressive hair. There was the guy who had a thing for Brienne of Tarth.
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
You do remind me of a wildling, I have to say. You know.
Well, I'm looking wilder and wilder as the day goes on, and it's all about hair.
You've been spending a lot of time on social media, Andrew. I know I have.
Yeah, look, I have. I'm not too sure a lot of time, and you know, most of the time it's just watching stupid shit on TikTok. Not that I have a TikTok account, but you know how you see it on Facebook and stuff, and you get lost down these rabbit holes. And,
I know you jump on one, and then you go to the next one, and the next one. And,
yeah, that's right. And for some reason, people think that moving your arms around while miming the words for 7 seconds is actually a fucking talent.
It is a bit of a talent because I can't do two things at once.
Yeah, fair enough. You're right.
I think I've got you there. Okay, so there is a TikTok star who 18 months ago, so this has taken 18 months for this to come out, TikTok star by the name of Ava Majuri. She's now 15. She has 1.2 million followers on her main account, right? And
okay, no small fry.
Small fry. She has a couple of other accounts, and what she does is she lip syncs and she does dancing videos.
Right. Okay. So she's one of those talentless gits that I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Now, bearing in mind, right, when what we're about to talk about happened, she was 13. Right, when this happened, right?
Okay.
So
she's young. Okay, but that's what TikTok's all about.
Typical 13-year-old girl going, look at me, I'm dancing, waving my hands around and pretending to sing.
Enjoying life. Great.
Exactly. So she was growing this, and she actually makes a lot of money on her TikTok now as well.
Yeah, once you got over 1 million followers and stuff like that, you know, or even well before that, you can charge a bit of coin for each of your posts if people are willing to sponsor you.
Now, what actually happened was that when she was 14, a guy by the name of Eric Rohan Justin, who was 18 at the time, came in through her front door, found out where she lived, right? Started commenting on the TikTok videos,
Basically being downright creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Started stalking her online, telling her that he would pay for her booty pictures, right? So, apart
You
from
think
the
he'd
fact
pay
that,
for my booty pictures? Because I've got a few booty pictures and stuff like that.
I think you'd need to pay us to actually look at those booty pictures. And even then, I don't think there's enough money in the world. So
maybe it'll replace waterboarding and the Prime Minister and the ukulele as the new form of torture.
Maybe. So he's come in through the front door and he had a shotgun.
Oh,
he was going to kill
So she's
her.
14, he's 18, being as creepy as fuck. Right.
He didn't just come in through the front door. He blasted open the front door with his shotgun. Now, I mean, wouldn't that scare the living shit out of you?
Look, yes, it would.
Yeah. Well, the father did exactly what any other father in that situation would do if they had a gun handy. Shot him dead. Boom.
Right. Well, surely that's self-defense. The guy's blasted the door open with a shotgun, bursting in.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what he's capable of? You got to take him out as quickly as possible.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, look, the reason why I thought it was really good to bring this up was because social media has become so much of a problem these days. And I remember saying to my daughter when she was 13 or 14, whatever you do on social media gets seen. It might not get seen now. It might get seen, in a few years' time. But there are too many creeps out there to be just, not thinking about that. And this is a perfect example. Okay, so she found out that after this all happened, she found out that this guy had contacted some of her friends. They had actually sold information like her cell phone to this guy. So he had tracked her down.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is the danger of social media.
Yeah, look, you do need to be really, really careful. And even some of the social media accounts that I've had in the past, and my numbers are nothing like her numbers, not even close. But I've been very, very careful not to divulge where I live. When I do videos and stuff, I do not show any aspects of my house except from the inside that are indistinguishable so that people can't identify where I live. And look, nobody's after me. Like, nobody wants to come in and bloody shoot a middle-aged, balding fat guy with, losing the will to live. But, when you're a young girl and you're doing all of this dancing stuff and people sexualize that stuff really, really fast, really, really quickly, you need to be careful. You need to take precautions.
Mm. Well, the story gets even more interesting because what actually happened was after this Justin had blown the front door away, the father, Rob, was a retired police officer.
Right.
Chased him off, and then went back to the house, grabbed his gun, and stood at the door.
Right.
Now, Justin then returned, and Rob claims that he told him to drop the shotgun. When Justin refused, then Rob shot him. Now,
yeah, look, that still sounds like self-defense.
It is. So apparently the father is not going to face any charges because Florida has an interesting law called Stand Your Ground law.
Right.
So because he was in the door of his house, said, "You come any closer, I'm going to shoot you."
Yep.
And that's what happened.
And the guy obviously shouldn't have been there. Tracked down his daughter's address and where she lived, blasted the hole in the front door with a shotgun. Like, obviously, the guy wasn't all right and had already displayed acts of violence that were life-threatening.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? As bad as that situation is, and everything that they've had to go through, and he's had to get legal advice and all of that, he has now had to get a lawyer in to help manage Ava's business as well. Because her business, her TikTok business, has gone off like you wouldn't believe, to the point where...
Like a frog in a sock.
Like a frog in a sock, to the point where she is continually attending events and meeting other influencers and making a shit ton of money.
This reminds me a little bit of the story Charlie D. I can't remember how you pronounce her surname, but she was a pretty young teenage girl who did a lot of dancing and stuff, and then she started doing her own dance stuff on TikTok and everything like that, and just exploded. And she's now one of the most influential TikTokers around the world with, I don't know, 25, 30 million or something. And it's a full-blown business, and her sister's in on it, and her parents run the business, and, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And, she's 17, 18, 19 years old now or something like that. She's been doing it for years and years and years. But serious money can actually be made. I mean, we laugh about them being talentless gits and stuff like that, but these people obviously have talent because they've developed a good stream of money coming in from swinging their arms around and lip syncing and all the rest of it. So, but look, good on them.
But this is what so social media has really become so big, now. And in fact, Tanya and I just finished watching this show called Inventing Anna, which is on Netflix. Now, if you get a chance to watch it, you got to have a look at it. It's about a girl called Anna Delvey, right, who was supposed to be a German heiress, complete fraudster, right? Her real name was Anna Sorokin. How they found out where she was, how they managed to track her down, was through her Instagram pictures. Because we are all living on social media. We can now be tracked on social media. This is what the police are now doing. They're following you on social media. The creeps as well are following you on social media. You've got to be so careful now.
Yeah, look, safety is really, really important. It's important to just be careful about what you post. I've had to have the same discussion with my boys as well, and they're not social media freaks or anything like that, but it's just you just got to be really careful.
Got to be careful. Well, coming up, we have the boys from Iconic Motor Haus. They're going to tell us all about how they got started. Great guys. Can't wait to have a chat with them. That will be when we come back right here on the Bad Boys Podcast.
Oh, yeah. We all know ladies make an effort. They doll up, dress up, and when it comes to the most important moment of their evening, their attention to detail is in their choice of what's under their dress. It's time for men to man up down under. Make the effort with underwear that's comfortable, lets your package breathe, and keeps a smile on her face. Visit manupdownunder.com.au and buy a week's supply for your package. Man Up Down Under. Underwear that cups your junk like the soft hands of an angel. Oh, yeah.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. We're excited to bring you our next guest. They have been a fantastic support to Bad Boys Podcast this year, along with Man Up Down Under. Two guys with an absolute vision to take some of the most iconic cars of our time, dress them up with incredible trims, and give them away, all in the name of charity, helping the team at Headspace Australia raise awareness for mental health. Their first car is about to be given away, and here to talk all about it are Kurt and Bryce, Iconic Motor Haus. Welcome to the Bad Boys Podcast. How are you going, guys?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. So, Iconic Motor Haus. I mean, you guys have got this incredible car that's going to be given away very shortly, and plenty more in the pipeline. Tell us a little bit about how Iconic Motor Haus came about.
Me and Kurt have been good mates for a long time, best mates actually. And we Kurt's in the industry of doing motor trimming, and his trims are highly sought after by a lot of people, and so much so he's got a backlog of 8 to 9 months at the moment with his other business. And we thought, what better way to give people the opportunity to, one, get a trim in an amazing car, and also supporting Headspace, which is our chosen charity along the way. And then we sort of went one better. We were looking at all the competitors that were in the space and saw what they were doing. And a lot of them don't really give much benefit or usable benefit in terms of their membership. So our membership packages include access to our rewards program, portal, and that gives you access to cashbacks and discounts at 4,500 stores Australia-wide. So you're not only going in the draw to win a life-changing prize, such as the cars we're offering, but you're also getting some daily rewards that you can use and offset your membership cost.
Yeah. Now, just so that for those who don't understand too, we're talking about car trims. We're not talking about like hair trims because, like, you know, Andrew needs a trim right now, I think so.
I do. I've gone from no hair to far too much hair. I don't know what the hell's happening. So guys, you know, first of all, love the work on this car. That this first giveaway that you guys, the first of many, many, many more to come. I mean, this thing is a beast of a machine.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. We've had a great feedback from everyone. Kind of just try to do something that would appeal to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
But the interior was just the main selling feature of the car. Was so that all that material was actually the same material they use in Lamborghini.
Yeah,
so
wow.
It's a really high-end, like plush interior. Like, yeah, when you sit in that car, it doesn't feel like your average Holden Commodore, that's for sure.
So was there a reason why you chose the Holden?
Just at the moment, they're just an appreciating, you know, car. Like that since Holden closed, everyone's just been trying to grab them and kind of tuck them away. So,
really,
you know, what they win now is valued at, you know, 110 grand. Like,
it's actually worth more than what it was when it was new.
Years ago.
Really?
So, so in a year or two, if someone just puts that in the garage, you know, but again, like it's an Aussie icon, you know.
Yeah.
So what better to launch, you know, our Aussie business than with a Holden.
Absolutely.
Particularly this one as well, because the thing I love about this is no ordinary HSV R8 Club Sport. I mean, this thing, like, and even putting that amazing interior behind, which no one else will have. I mean, you've done a lot of other work to the car as well. Run us through the car a little bit.
Oh, well, engine-wise, it's just done your pretty basic street legal, just, you know, package with cam and extractors and full exhaust and, you know, OTR and tune. So it's nothing too crazy there. So nothing that anyone can kill themselves in.
Sure. I mean, the car's a bit of a weapon before, you know, even off the factory.
You haven't seen me drive yet.
You don't want to put Shane behind it. That's just crazy shit.
Well, if he buys the ticket, he might end up winning.
He's more of a European man, I hear. He likes his BMWs.
Me, yes. My M6 and I, we sleep together every night in the garage. We're really close.
With a haircut like that, I know why, actually. So,
well, yeah, God help me. So tell me, guys, you know, the big question is why? Why are you doing all of this?
Both myself and Kurt, like, I suppose why we're doing it is obviously it's a business first and foremost, but also something we wanted to do was give back and support an amazing charity of choice, and also to change people's lives by giving prizes like this. I mean, getting a phone call, you know, a couple of weeks after you buy a ticket to say you've won a $110,000 car, it'd be amazing, and the chances of winning are so much higher than, say, a lottery, because, you know, it's 1 in 15,000 entrants, and I can tell you right now, we're not even anywhere close to 15,000 entrants in this first one. So the odds are even better. But why we sort of did it was we wanted to support a charity and sort of give back. And both myself and Kurt have been affected ourselves by mental health and had a lot of friends and family that have been. My brother struggled with mental health and he passed away in February last year.
Yeah.
So that was sort of the driving force. And we'd always spoken about doing what we're doing now. But after he passed away, we sort of just sat there and looked at each other and said, you know, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the other cars that's actually live at the moment, we've got a silver VE Club Sport as well.
Nice.
And that's sort of a tribute to my brother, because that was one of his favourite cars he ever had was a VE Club Sport.
Yeah, nice.
We're actually trying to track down his original car now because I want to purchase it and just keep it for his son. But that's sort of the tribute of why we've chosen an older V8 Club Sport. That was to him.
Yeah,
nice.
So yeah, we just wanted to raise the awareness around mental health, and sort of Headspace was our chosen charity because we love the work that they do to help specifically young children with mental health.
I completely agree.
I think you could safely say that there's not one person, you know, that hasn't been affected through someone they know or themselves with mental health.
The demographic that we aim for with these cars, you know, it's more male dominant.
Yeah.
At the moment, you know, and in this age criteria, like everyone around me and at this age are affected, immensely by depression and battling anxiety, and especially in times that we're in now. So the fact that we could be changing someone's life, with something worth right at the moment, $110,000. I know that would fix my life a lot, and probably a lot of other people. So, not only donating to Headspace, we're changing lives that way, but even just being able to give the keys to to a kickstart for someone is just like that feeling is gonna. It's
even
kind of
for us, I think. It's like a morale booster.
It's selfish for us in a sense that it's helping us mentally as well, being able to we have things to look forward to now.
There's a lot to be said when you're doing things for other people, and how much you get back personally from doing that as well. And Headspace, I mean, they do some amazing work. I've had friends and family myself that have benefited enormously from seeing the people at Headspace and helping them process life in just a slightly different way. And my hat goes off to the people that work for Headspace. They are doing amazing work up and down the coast.
100%,
yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure I heard Andrew say that if he won the car, that he'd be donating it back to Headspace anyway. So, because he loves it that much.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
I've been looking up designs, actually.
He said he was going to keep it and he'll give the M6 in. So.
Well, I was thinking of if I did win it and stuff, I'd get a Bad Boys FM branded and use it as a promotional car.
We promised to throw in our Iconic Motor Haus hat for you.
Nice. There you go. Now you're talking.
That hair you got going on.
And you need to cover this up too. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've been in the surf every day and stuff, and it's all over. I feel like that nutty professor from Back to the Future.
How do you decide what cars to give away? I mean, like I'm pretty sure that my mum's got an old Camry. Can you do that one up for her?
Well, like I said, we just need that. We just kind of see what's hot at the moment. Like what everyone's like. With me, I see what people are bringing in, and they're prepared to throw money at as far as an interior wise. So, people are looking at these cars and they're like, like I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to put my money into it. So they're the kind of cars that I'm seeing come through, and a lot of them are the Holdens and the HSVs. We get a lot of the high end European kind of thing. So,
and be surprised at how much people spend at cars and how much they're worth at the end of the day. You see cars, and my fiance Nikki, some of them sometimes get stored in my garage downstairs when running out of space at the factory. And she sits there and goes, I want that piece of crap out of here. What is that? And I said, it's worth $100,000. She goes, no, I don't care what it's worth. Get it out of here. But you do see cars that you would probably think aren't worth much. But as Holden's closed down and other cars that are sort of going up in value, it's insane the amount that some cars are actually worth now.
Yeah, I've seen the Skylines, for example. Skylines go through the roof. What's with that?
Yeah, it's massive, yeah.
Yeah.
But, we kind of want to stay in our own lane. Like, there is another mob out there, and they're kind of doing the Japanese import cars and stuff like that. Then you've got the guys doing the big full drives, with set up and decked out for camping and all that kind of. I feel like there's enough room in the industry if people kind of just stick to their thing and kind of, zone in on that demographic suited to, what we're giving away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, Holdens have been a passion, and big V8s and stuff like that for me is where we want to kind of target. And if we keep a following of people that just love the cars, even if they're not in the entry, if they follow and they're not coming in, they love seeing the cars coming up and what we've done with them. But and there's other people out there too that they're just buying a car from a dealership and they'll put that up. So someone could go down and buy that car, tomorrow if they want. Where I want to do one-off, tailor-made, you couldn't. That car that we're doing now, the VFR, right? It's one of a kind, and that's what we kind of want to stick to. Is that one of a kind?
Like it, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Being an old Holden fan myself, have you got any plans to do up a Brock special?
Yeah, well, so I actually am the trimmer for HDT.
Right.
So I do all Holden dealer teams work. And there's a lot of Brocks at the moment, replicas. So it's hard to decipher between, do we get a replica or get a real one. The hardest thing is if we have a genuine Brock, like it could be,
could be worth
hard for someone to try to store or what to do with it, to sell it, or, it's, and I think they're worth about near $1 million now for a genuine VK Brock. And it's a lot of money for what year model is that? 80s?
Would have been late 80s, I reckon.
84, 85? I was going to say, saying,
So $1 million driving down the road and you've got wind coming in the doors, no aircon.
Doesn't matter. It's a Brock. Come on.
I know, but I'd rather get it, like a Camaro. I'd love to get into like the, some American kind of muscle as well, and import something maybe unique.
We've also been talking about trying to open up to like a larger demographic, and we'll always still do our one-off cars, but we're also thinking about just targeting the True Blue Aussie families. So we're offering, thinking about one of the ones we're coming up soon, and will be like a his and her package. So a mum and a dad's package. So they've both got 2 new cars in the driveway, and they'll still be unique. They'll still be different. So that's nice. Part of, we would change families' lives as well, not just sort of the younger demographic.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good idea as well. I'm a bit of a car crazy guy, but I'm not a tinker with them myself guy, mainly because I wouldn't even know where to start. But happy to spend the money on something that is really unique and really special, which is the reason why I went for my F06, my Grand Coupe M6. But for instance, my partner Michelle, she probably doesn't know the front to the back of most cars. The Prado that we've got her in at the moment, until it's got an inch full of sand in the footwell, she doesn't even bother to get it cleaned. So I think having that his and hers approach, I think could really, really work. I'd love to win her something, like for instance, I'd love to win her a nice custom Range Rover or something like that, because you know what I mean? She can drive that over little children in the car park and not have to worry about denting it.
But imagine like a young family, winning a his and hers. It might be just purchase a house, or just halfway through renovating a house or something like that. Their cars are struggling, something like that would change their lives, just be something they don't have to make repayments on, or, alleviate a stress.
Yeah. Because raising kids is more as expensive as it is always anyway. So
absolutely, absolutely.
But again, the boys can tell their missus why they've just spent $50 on a raffle.
Although we do get a few people calling up that have purchased tickets, and they're like, "Oh, is there any way I can get a refund?" And we're like, "Well, what's going on? Oh, my missus on my statement. I'm not allowed." Quite a few of those.
So tell me, I've had a complete mental freeze. I had this really good question. Oh, yes, very good. You guys do, you buy tickets. I bought a bunch myself. You doubled the odds by doubling the tickets. Are you thinking of moving to a subscription model in the future? I've seen similar models before.
Yeah, so we've already built that when we sort of set everything up and did the website build, which was a 6-month process of full-time development. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into the back end when you're talking bonus entries and all that sort of stuff. So. And we wanted it to be all automated, so there was no sort of manual mistakes made, and it was fair for everyone. So we've definitely built the subscription model. For us now, it's not commercially viable, just because we're a startup, we're new, so our database is quite small. So once our database builds, then we will introduce that, which probably be in the next coming months, and then we will switch to a subscription model, as well as also doing the one-off ticket purchases.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Now, the other question I've got is, so Iconic Motor Haus, which is your website as well, so iconicmotorhaus.com. House, I mean, do you guys not go to school, or?
It actually says horse, but
horse.
No. We it's just that we went for, you should know yourself, mate, being the European fan.
Yeah,
we went for that European kind of look, but no, it stands out a bit more,
Yeah, it does. It does. Of course, we've got to explain it every time we do an ad, but that's okay.
So. Yeah, well, a mate of mine, his partner thought it was horse for a good month. So we just let her run with that.
That kind of works, a motor horse,
Yeah.
Now, and you guys are a shop as well, like as in I could bring the M6 in and get some custom work done on that as well.
Well, that's on my side. So on the My Design, that is it. But as far as I'm booked out for near a year, always in advance. Right. And that was why we were doing this as well. People complaining that they can't get a hold of me, or because I'm a one-man show. No, it's hard to keep up with demand. So we thought, this gives people, a way of acquiring an interior done by myself, and a car with it. But But yeah, so like that's my design is just the interior side of it. So yeah, we can definitely do interiors.
You can get those pink LED lights that you were after, Andrew.
The LED lights, yeah, and the doof-doofs. I've got to get myself a set of doof-doofs.
So yeah, both My Design and Iconic, we've got a facility in Tarrant Point where we've sort of built it to do what we do, so that all the work's done in-house. So that black car, the VF that you see on the giveaway, and the silver one, they both turned up looking very stock standard. Into the doors, like Need for Speed, door came up, came out, looked like they do now. So we do all the work in-house, and that's part of so every car will have a custom plate built in the car. It sort of says it was built by us. So
nice.
So,
awesome.
Actually, interesting. You mentioned Need for Speed and other shows like Fast and the Furious. Has that really sort of built up this whole custom car business? I mean, has that sort of helped you guys along the way?
Oh, you could say, yeah, for years it's kind of like those movies and, definitely Fast and Furious.
I think back in the old days, that was what a lot of the show car, you had those show car magazines and you'd buy them and see all the cars with, 400 million speakers in them and LED neon lights everywhere.
Yeah, it's definitely like the customizing changes every decade or so. It's always changing and then they do a kind of a loop around because what I admired when I was, 12 and could never afford, I can now afford. So, you start building them how you wanted to 20 years ago. So, everything kind of does a loop around. And but definitely those movies and like the franchise of Fast and Furious, it just brought the scene to everyone, I guess, and a lot of women now are actually getting in that culture where it wasn't so much before, I feel. But a lot of the girls, a lot of customers I get, are women as well. And, they're into it just as much as the blokes now.
Yeah.
Which even the show that we were at this year for Summer Nights in Canberra, that, you see a lot of women now down there with their own cars where, that was definitely a male-dominant show. But this year the turnout was amazing,
I've heard that the numbers this year were massive, much bigger than previous years.
It hasn't been on for 2 years due to COVID, obviously. So, I think there was just a lot of people eager to get there and their cars they've been working on for 2 years.
I was about to say, I wonder if COVID helped. Everybody's stuck at home, need a project to do, otherwise the man's getting booted out of the house.
That's right, yeah. But then, getting parts and stuff, obviously COVID affected that. So there was a lot of people still with their cars not down there due to, not being able to get things from overseas and stuff like that, parts. But our turnout was great. Like we had our stall set up there and, we just let people do their thing and, look and admire the cars. And it was just good to legitimize everything and show that we're real for starters. And, and photos just never do it justice, when you stick your head in the car and you smell that Alcantara that, it smells like a Lamborghini in that black one and fresh new leather and, the paint's all been gel coated and everything. So,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Just people to be able to see it was awesome.
Now you're giving that away any day now, like the 23rd.
Yeah, we were meant to be doing it next Wednesday, but we just pushed it to Friday because there's that many entries that we need to get printed and guillotined in 24 hours from the time to get the gates closed. So we pushed it to Friday to allow us time to get all those entries into the barrel.
Yeah,
and someone here put a hole in our barrel. So
that's also being reproduced, which we pick up next Friday morning. So that was part of the reason. But we literally had so many entries and which has been great that we just sort of wanted to push it out a bit so we weren't running around and making mistakes. So on Friday evening at 7 p.m, we'll be giving someone a call to change their life, which will be amazing to do for us. And also, I think it will be sad to see it go. But but also happy to see it go to someone and change their life. And I still don't know how it's going to all feel and that when it comes around, but I'm sure it's going to
trust me, it's going to feel great and I'll look after it.
Well, one last question. I know you've been looking after the Aussie connections with Holden. Any thoughts about doing a Ford?
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah. We just got to make one that's just going to be unique, Again, I've seen a few of our competitors, so to speak, have done a few, and I don't think the response has been great. Probably just
Because it's a Ford, maybe?
Well, it's
Yeah, mate, just not creative enough, you know? We just got to do a good flare.
Yeah.
And those Mustangs, look, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Mustangs. I think Mustangs are a little bit.
There's too many of them. There's too many now.
Yeah,
I think they're like a Camry now.
Yes.
they are a little bit. Aren't they?
I like a
Change bumper.
Camry.
We'll upgrade the Camry.
Well,
You guys had a Merc four-wheel drive parked in one of your videos, and there was an influence, a
so
suggestion.
that's part- I suppose, if we talk about upcoming stuff we're doing, we've obviously got the VE that's running alongside the VF now that runs for a few, probably another month.
Yep.
So that will be amazing. And then we've got a C63 AMG. We're just trying to decide what we're doing with that.
Yep.
We've got the X-Class. So the X-Class might be part of the his and her giveaway where we'll get a smaller Mercedes for the mum, or maybe a four-wheel drive Mercedes.
Yep.
Or we're thinking maybe putting a new jet ski on the back. Just not sure.
Nice. I love those package ideas. I've seen a few of those, so I think some of those packages could be a bit of fun.
And also we're going to be building some one-off cars as well, maybe potentially with HDT. So we might do a HDT build car and raffle that off. So that would be amazing because that would just be something that'd be worth a bomb in years to come.
So I'm able to, because I work alongside with HDT, able to pull a few strings and do some unique HDT builds, which are, again, become that one-off, one-of-a-kind thing.
And then we're also
that'll be pretty epic.
Demographics of the older generation, the older guys that have known HDT and love HDT, they're going to see some stuff that probably they never thought they'd see, but it sort of opens up to them as well.
Yeah,
And some of those older guys, like you mentioned earlier, we can now afford to live the dreams that we had when we were kids. And of course, we're all kids at heart anyway. We never really grow up.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's why we get on the back of the four-wheel drive. We'll kind of bring that youth back out of everyone.
Andrew might not want to ride that though. He might lose all the rest of the hair he's got left.
That's right. Leave it to guys like me that have no hair and Bryce, Look, thanks guys for joining us on the show today. And we just want to give a quick shout out to firstly to Headspace for being part of this whole Iconic Motor Haus adventure. But if you want to pick up a ticket in the draw, you've got, I think the show is out on Tuesday, so you've got 2 days, 1 day, 24 hours to get in.
So no, the closing date will be next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at midnight, and we'll be drawing it at 7 p.m. on Friday afternoon.
Excellent.
Right, okay, so if you want to get a ticket, get in there, buy them. Yeah. The odds are out of this world, fabulous.
Well, we're actually running for the remaining days at launch this morning. We're running triple entries, so jump on quick and get your entries. So for every amount of packages you purchase, we'll triple it. So
damn, I have to go and buy more tickets now. Okay.
Head over to the website, which is Iconic Motor Haus, house spelt HAUS.com, and grab your entries. Thanks, guys, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for having us.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome back to Bad Boys Podcast, and there's some interesting data that has been revealed by the government about COVID that has not really been talked about too much. And this has all come out, so the Australian Bureau of Statistics has actually examined the nation's COVID-19 death statistics.
Right.
And there's some very interesting results out of this. And, it's not being talked about too much. Came to our attention, Ben Fordham actually started talking about this on his show. So what has actually come out of this is something that obviously, should have actually been told right at the very start. Should have been told, and that just shows how much the media has beaten up this story. You've read the report? Yeah,
look, I had a look at all of the data and everything like that he was referring to, and it's really fascinating stuff. So in Australia, to date, there has been 2,639 COVID deaths, right? They have been reported as COVID deaths, and everybody's been going, oh my God, all of these people died of COVID. As it turns out, That is completely false.
And this was over from March 2020 to January 31st.
Correct.
So what's that? 21 months.
That's the entirety of COVID. So that is effectively, I don't know, roughly about 22 months, almost 2 years. So 2,639 deaths. As it turns out, the truth of the matter, this is Australian Bureau of Statistics, has released information that actually shows that 92% of those deaths didn't die of COVID but died of other diseases. And the average number of other ailments or diseases that the people who died from those apparent COVID deaths, the other diseases that they carried on average were 3 per person.
Right.
So things like kidney disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, all these other different things. But even though they died of those other things, because they did a test on them and they had COVID in their system, they were listed as a COVID death.
Now,
people have been carrying on about this for years, saying that the figures are not true. Figures are being falsified. The New South Wales government has already come out and said that, yes, they were reporting the number of people hospitalised with COVID were the people who had COVID in their system but weren't necessarily hospitalised with COVID, e.g. they didn't go there because they had COVID. Some went there for a car accident or a broken arm or kidney disease or heart disease or something, but because they had COVID, they were listed as a COVID hospitalisation, and the government has already come out and said that they were wrong in falsely representing the figures. But the Bureau of Stats figures are nationwide. The whole country has been doing this.
And I mean, so Ben Fordham has actually come out and said that it is an overblown scare campaign, like the biggest overblown scare campaign that we've witnessed. Right? And you've got to agree, initially when you hear, oh my God, there's been 2,369 deaths from COVID, right? Now, even if that figure was correct, even if that figure on its own, without the fact that 92% of them were actually had underlying health issues, let's look at the other statistics that are around as well. During that same period from March 2020 to January 31st, 100,000 Australians died from cancer. 32,000 from heart disease, 30,000 from Alzheimer's and dementia, and 10,000 from diabetes. That means that COVID-19 deaths, taking off that 92% of attributed to other deaths as well, that means that COVID-19 actually made up not even 1% of all of the fatalities nationwide for that period.
Right.
Yet,
and in fact, the actual number of people who died of COVID, as in COVID was the cause of death, 211 people in Australia. 8% of what was reported.
then I ask the question, why is it given so much fucking airtime on mainstream media? Why is it the first thing that you hear when politicians open up their mouths? And why are we, as the public, mandated to have to wear masks, to not be able to go to places unless you've got a passport, to be locked in our freaking houses like they did in Victoria for nearly the entirety of COVID? It's crazy.
I know. You know what I would like to know? I'd like to know how many people committed suicide over that same period of time compared to a similar time frame in previous years. And I reckon the increase in suicides from lockdowns and all that sort of stuff would be a greater death toll than those that actually died of COVID.
Yeah. And look,
there's absolutely some serious questions.
I reiterate what Ben said in his commentary, that if you haven't heard it, we're going to be sharing it on our social media pages. He actually said, just to be really clear, every death is tragic, right? We're not taking anything away from the COVID-19 deaths. What we're saying is, let's actually put it into perspective. You know, we have all done our best to remain calm during a pandemic, but let's be honest, it has been overhyped by the politicians to the point where we all worry. Well,
right. The question is
why?
People
worry.
Like, really, why?
Why?
And as people say, when you really start to look into these things, you start to see that it's all about money.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, you know what? Check out our pages. Have a look at this report. Have a look at this this segment with Ben Fordham. Definitely worth listening to. And finally, someone in mainstream media is actually saying something about it. It needs to be said.
Finally. Right.
Like, it's only taken 22
and
months.
Look, of course, we all know that some people have died, and that's terrible. We all know that there is a very nasty disease going around, and we don't want people getting sick. Nobody does. This isn't a anti-vax thing, whatever. You know, it's not that. It's just a simple fact.
Yeah.
Governments lie to us. They have been lying to us for decades. There is so much evidence out there of all the different things that they have lied to us about. Yet for some reason, people still believe that every single word that comes out of the government mouth is fact and true, when the evidence suggests otherwise. We just need to open our eyes a little bit. As my father always used to say in the old days, don't believe everything you read in the newspaper.
Yeah, absolutely. But believe everything that you see on Bad Boys social media, which is Official Bad Boys Podcast. Head over to Facebook and Instagram.
And of course, you can believe everything that you hear on Bad Boys FM, because I've got to say the music is amazing and everything else is piss funny. So just get on there, have a listen, badboysfm.com, if you want to catch some serious sultry tunes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Press plus or follow to hear more great episodes from the Bad Boys. Or check us out on our social media at Official Bad Boys Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.
That's awesome. Done. Like a dinner.